Yo, what's crack-a-lackin' traders? Happy Monday. It is what? August 11th. Woo! Dude, this year's flying by. August 11th. It's crazy. It's 8:26 in the morning, and we are diving into the Fact Check Me session. That's what we're going to call it. The Fact Check Me. No, we're going to be breaking down top stocks, what I see, where I think the potential is, going to explain it to you guys, break down the game plans, hand it to you on a silver platter, and then, yes, obviously, you can go back at the end of the day and fact check me. How accurate is my analysis when we're breaking this down and obviously seeing these types of setups play out? All right, so let's dive into it. Every morning I will be dropping these, 5-10 minutes long. So if you like these, drop a comment down below, like it, let me know you enjoy this content if it's helping you getting prepared for the day, or again, just be able to go back and see how solid this analysis is and just how consistent it's respected. So just give me an idea if you guys do enjoy these videos. I'll definitely keep making them. All right, but I'm going to go through my top plays and explain what I see. So with ES today, guys, a couple different planes that I have. First plan is a short, and obviously I like the short a lot better on ES. We have a lot more downside potential compared to like upside, long side potential. So I obviously prefer the short because there's going to be lower risk, much higher reward, but I'll take whatever the market gives me. The market wants to set up long, it sets up long. I'll take the trade. But here's what we got on ES. Right, I got this daily zone of resistance. It's between 64.31 to 64.36. It's a pretty key level of daily resistance. We get down into a 1 hour time frame. I notice that we have some 1 hour supply. That price hasn't hit yet, so we're coming up into some of that untouched 1 hour supply. And I noticed that that 1 hour supply zone lines up beautifully with my daily zone of resistance. I already have confluence, right? I already have two reasons to look to take a trade short off supply, off resistance. Those two zones line up at the same exact price point. Then I took it down to a 30-minute. Noticed we had some 30-minute supply that overlaps the 1 hour supply zone. And we have that daily zone of resistance right there as well. So I have my three separate independent reasons to consider taking a trade. So the only thing I don't like about it is, this is a counter trend reversal. We're not trading with the trend. We would be looking to trade against it. So as far as like full-blown follow-through, I mean, yeah, we have a lot of room down into like the 63.80s. But I'm not super convicted that we're going to necessarily get there. So I'm looking to get in and start to, scalp this. When I hit a 2-to-1 target, scalp it, scale out a little bit, bring stops down, hit a 3-to-1, bring stops down, scale out, and continue the rinse and repeat, managing this trade all the way down to the 63.80s if we get there. But again, I need to understand context. We're in an uptrend. I'm looking to get short. We may just see a normal, healthy pullback before seeing the next leg up. So if we don't get all the way down to that target, I just need to be, managing my trade correctly. And I know how I would want to manage this trade based on the type of trade that I'm taking, the reasonings that I have, and looking at some market context here. Still going to look to take that counter trend reversal if we set up here on ES. And again, actively manage that trade, and if we get down to 63.80, great, I'll hold some of that position down to 63.80. So optimal entry point's going to be right at 64.33. So this is what the plan's going to look like here on ES. Entries where all of those confluences overlap. We're going to go stops above resistance and above those two supply zones. So you're probably running about 5 points of risk here. And again, looking left, assess first target, realistically back into these lows. So what can we get here? About a 4-to-1 into our first target. I like that. Good risk reward. Second target, if we keep dropping on off, I'm going to say back into these lows here. We had some nice lows, big pops off this 64.03 level. So that's going to be second target. We get about a 6-to-1 out of that. Next target, it's going to have to be this low as well. Prior highs. Third target, 8-to-5. And then final targets down at that next daily zone. That's down between, 63.70 to 63.77. That potentially give you upwards of a 11-to-1. if we see this follow through and get to the main target. But even first target, 4-1, I'm all over it. All right, so that's the short plan. But if we see the market open and price explodes through that supply, okay, what do? Well, supply's been mitigated. We remove it. We see that we've broken through resistance. And what do we know happens after that? Sometimes we come back, retest previous resistance as new support, and we proceed to push higher. So if we see a simple break and retest opportunity setting up off that daily zone, I'm going to get long into some supply that was created off those all-time highs. All right? Because we do have some supply up against those all-time highs. So that's the target. All right? So if we see the break, we get the retest, good price action, entries off the zone, stops below the zone. So you got about, probably about 6.5 points of total risk. Target's going to be the supply overlap. We have 4 hour, we have 1 hour, 30-minute supply overlap. So that overlap's going to be the target. That gives us about close to a 4-1. So I would trade that break and retest long on ES. And I know where my target is. It's up around 64.57. That's the supply overlap. I will get out of that long. And if we see a nice reaction up there off that overlapping supply, I will definitely look to scalp that short up around 64.57 as well. All right, so just to go ahead and recap, ES looks to be the absolute best today. All right, first game plan, getting short off those two zones of supply and daily resistance. We have those plans built, target assessed. If price just breaks through all of that supply zones go bye-bye. We wait and see if we get a retest off that daily zone of resistance. We take the break and retest long up to that 64.57 level. That's our target. We get up into that overlapping supply at 64.57. I'm looking for a quick short to scalp that for a quick little 2-1, 3-1 base hit if we get that reaction off that supply overlap. All right. So that's ES, guys. Again, ES looks to be the best today based on Confluence. All right. NQ. Quick plan on NQ. Short at 23,800. All right. I have 4 hour, 1 hour, 30-minute supply. My overlap is right at 23,800. That's a psychological level of resistance as well. So if we see NQ push up into the overlap, we hit that 23,800 psychological barrier. We see that reaction. We clearly see, yep, there's more sellers than buyers present. I'm going to look for a quick short. Again, scalp that for just a quick 2-1, 3-1. Not looking left, assessing targets. Again, just a quick scalp because, again, this is supply of all-time highs. I'm not looking for follow-through. Right, taking shorts off supply at all-time highs. I'm looking for quick reactions, quick scalps, 2-1, 3-1 base hits, in and out quick. That's all I really see with NQ today is that short off the overlapping supply and psychological resistance at 23,800. All right, and then lastly, I do like silver, okay? I do like silver futures as well. You take a look at silver, we have some overlapping demand with some golden pocket confluence, all right? So we can see that this is a valid first leg to the upside. That's leg number 1 to the upside. We broke the prior lower high in the process, so nice leg on up. We can take a fib retracement on this leg. Okay, I also notice we have some 4-hour demand sitting right here. Drop base, nice rally. Then I flip this down into a 1-hour time frame, and I also notice that I have some 1-hour demand inside of my 4-hour demand. There's my drop base rally, boop, right there on a 1 hour. So I mark up my 4-hour demand. I see that I have 1-hour demand. I validate that that's a valid leg to the upside. That's worthy of putting a fib retracement on it. And then I start to notice, shit, wow, look at all my confluences lining up. I have 4-hour, 1 hour overlap. That's right at that fib retracement golden pocket. And that's like the sweet spot. So we got the first leg up, right? If I'm looking for a higher low formation for the second leg up, I want to see the higher low, ideally, right inside that golden pocket. That's like the sweet spot. So I got the golden pocket, 4-hour demand, 1 hour demand, all lining up in the golden pocket. That's where I expect to see the higher low form before seeing the next leg to the upside. I want to be getting long on silver inside of the 4-hour, 1 hour demand overlap off that fibs golden pocket. We're trading with the trend. Right? Okay. Let me take that back. I didn't even look at the trend. We're range bound. So we're not trading with the trend, all right? So I retract that statement. We're range bound. We're not down trending. We're not up trending. We are range bound, but we see valid first leg to the upside, healthy golden pocket retracement into demand. There's a very, very high probability chance this is where the higher low forms before seeing that full-blown second leg to the upside. So do I think this trade has potential for follow through? Yes, this one I do. So I want to be in this for follow through. Seeing a valid first leg up, healthy pullback to the 50% golden pocket. We have some confluence demand. Again, there's like an 80% chance that's where that higher low forms before we see that full-blown second leg to the upside where we can target this prior high and start to target these highs and some supply as well. So this is great follow through potential here on silver futures. So what's the plan going to look like? This is the plan on silver, getting in on the overlap. So the overlap between 4-hour, 1-hour demand. You're going to go put stops right below it. So stops, you get about 0.085, 0.09 of risk. And again, looking left, here's going to be some 4-hour supply, first targets. And you are looking at a fucking 10 to 1. Obviously, you're not going to not do anything if you're in this trade, right? If we get in and it pushes up to a 5 to 1, I'm not going to just do nothing. I'm going to start to bring stops up, maybe to break even, maybe bring partial stop up to a 3 to 1 exit, maybe scale out at that 5 to 1. I'm going to actively manage the trade and take profit where I see fit and then manage this all the way up to the main target. But if I'm at a 5 to 1 risk reward, like I'm going to do something. I'm going to take some profit, put money in the bank, manage the trade, de-risk, right? Because I want to secure that 5 to 1 if we see that, right? But we do have 10 to 1 potential on silver futures. That's SI. All right, so you got ES dialed, you got NQ, and you got silver. Those three look really good today. These are my game plans. This is where I'm looking to put my capital today in the market. I will put money behind these trades. I put my reputation behind these trades. All right, so again, good analysis, multiple confluences, great plans. Now we got to do what? Wait for market open. Sit back, wait for the market to set up based on the plans that we built. If we see something setting up based on the plan we built, guess what? We already got a plan built. We just need to execute and manage. All right, so as always, stay blessed. Happy, safe trading. I'll see you guys in the next breakdown.